Okay, hello everybody. Just recording the week 8 tutorial, yeah, so you can have a look and find out some information if you like. Okay, there we go, introduced. So have you guys got, I'll run through, I've got the last one of my tutorials that I hope will help you with your assessment for SPSS today. After that, it's really, the tutorials will be more about just answering questions if anyone's got anything they need. Have you guys got any questions now that you want to ask me? No? Okay, all right. Well, what I'll do then is I'll share my screen and I'll just run through this associative testing. Now, it's not really even associative testing. I think that's probably not even the right word, but hang on, I'll just share my screen so you can see what I'm up to. Okay, that's good. I can see you guys down there. And you can see my screen, which is the Moodle site. So just having a quick squiz at assessment 3. Here we go. So you need to have a look at the textbook. It'll give you some explanation, and I've already mentioned this a number of times, but I'm just going to keep reiterating it so hopefully everybody gets it at some point or another. So in the textbook, this is the case that starts, oh, far out. That just decided to do that. I've been looking at it all morning. I'll just quickly, oh wait. And, yep, okay, so this is us, 3:49. Always happens when people are watching, doesn't it? 3:49. Okay, so case 12.2, the integrated case, it gives you the background. Probably, so that's just the bottom half there. This is really useful because it explains to you how the database is set up, so you can have a look through and you know what questions essentially have been asked and what the options are. So as I mentioned last tutorial, code 1 in the SPSS database is equal to under 25k. Code 2 is equal to 25 to 49k. So then you can have a look at it. Now I've no, I won't go there yet. Okay, so that gives you the whole survey and what's actually put into it, and then this asks you the questions. This is your assessment. Okay, so I've given you in the last couple of tutorials, I've spoken about how to do descriptive analyses and cross tabulations, and to have a look at means, so analyse and look at means. So from that information, you should be able to answer all of those questions. The last question is essentially an hypothesis test of the simplest kind, and this is very easy. Now, I have actually, because this is not my passion in life and I don't do it all the time, I've had to have a bit of a look through and see what how other people do it. So I've actually gone and I've put this link on Moodle as well. Learned statistics, one sample t-test using SPSS. Like I say, the link's on Moodle in this week, I think, in the resources section. So you can have a look at that too, because this is what you will need to use to complete that assessment. Now I've got to find it again. That's it there. Okay, so essentially it says the global motors principles believe that the desirability on the part of the American public for each of the automobile models is under consideration is the following. Sorry, I'm getting there. Okay, so remember, as we looked at this here, desirability, 1 seat, okay, it's on a scale of 1 to 7, okay? So 1 is very undesirable and 7 is very desirable, okay? So that's what you know about that question already. They believe that there's a fairly low desirability for an all-electric 1 seat, that's a 3, okay? So you really want to test whether there is a statistically significant similarity between what they think the public want and what our sample shows the public want. Okay, so that's what we're trying to see, a statistically significant relationship. Oh, sorry, my phone's going mental. Oh my God, it's just one of those days, isn't it? All right, okay, all right.
So that table there, Alison, is what they're guesstimating, not based on the data.
Yeah, that's right. So they believe that the desirability on the part of the American public is this, right? So that's their hypothesis, all right? You now need to look at the data and test to see whether that hypothesis falls within a statistically significant range, okay? Now, I'm not going to do this one because I can't give you the answers, okay? But I'll do something quite similar with you in my data, so you can follow it and hopefully ask questions and it'll make sense for you. Okay, so I will bring up my data there. Okay, so now I'm going to look at, now I use this example all the time. Sorry, it's such a massive database, it takes me a while to navigate around it. Okay, so I'll just use, say, image number 17. Okay, so this is the desirability of image number 17. My scale's only on a scale of 5. I haven't put in mine, I haven't put in, okay, 1 equals I strongly dislike it and 2 equals I dislike it, but I know that's the case and you can know that's the case, okay? So we know that 1's horrible and 5 is I love it, okay? So image number 17, if I have a quick, I had this up last week and then didn't use it, and now of course it's, why is that not there? This is seriously, it is just one of those days, isn't it, today? All right, experiencing, analysis, city user survey, PICS, data analysis, PICS analysis, images. I think that's them. Yay, good Lord. This is, welcome to the labyrinth that is my filing system. Okay, all right, so these are the images, right? So I can have a look and I can guess that, say, number 14 there, people aren't going to like that very much, so I might suggest that I think that that's going to have a very low, rating out of 5. Okay, so I might say 14. We'll check out 14. Okay, so I propose, I guess that 14 has a 2.5. So that's below, yeah, a 2.5 average score, right? So I go up to analyse. I go to compare means, one sample t-test. Okay, so this is where I get to, oh, you can see I've already been having a fiddle with one from something else. Okay, so number 14, I'll find 14 in my list. I click it over there so I can test that variable, and I think the value is going to be 2.5. I actually have no idea, I can't remember. Okay, so I'm testing that to be 2.5, and up, yep, okay, that's the previous one. Okay, so up comes, that's picture 9. I'm interested in picture 14. You can see P14 in there. I'll narrow this up so we're only looking at that so it doesn't get confusing. There we go. Okay, so this is the results of my t-test, all right? The mean for that image is 2.23. You can see that there. Okay, 520 people rated it, and 2.23 is their mean rating for it, okay? Now, in here, now I've shown how you do this in the lecture, hopefully clearly enough for you, but also that link that I just showed to you in Laird Statistics that you can get onto will also show you how to do this quite clearly. And I can see here, okay, so Now, in the lecture, it explains to you, and I can't do it off the top of my head because I can't remember, but how this t-value is derived at the degrees of freedom. Sig two-tailed, right, significance in the two-tailed test, that is the p-value, okay, otherwise known as the p-value. And what you want here, so I've got, so you can see these are my notes, so I can remember to explain it to you correctly. Your p-value needs to be less than 0.5 for it to be statistically significantly different, okay? So the significance here has been rounded up to 0.0000. It's very, very low. So that means that they are statistically significantly different. So 2.5 is different to 2.23. So that means that I have to reject my hypothesis that that value is 2.5, okay? So I hypothesised that image was going to be rated 2.5 on average, but the actual rating was 2.23. So that means that I need to reject that because I didn't guess close enough to the mean for it to be statistically significant. You're nodding, that makes me feel good. Now I can do this again and we can try, or I could just do this same one again and go, right, now I know it's 2.23. We'll have a look and we'll just go, okay, maybe we'll make that I wonder if 2.3 would be close enough for it to be, okay. All right, so this is different. See, 0.043. Now that p-value in there is still lower than 0.05. So I'm still not guessing. My hypothesis still needs to be rejected because it's still not statistically significantly close enough. Okay, so that value needs to be over 0.05 for me to accept that. Yeah, that's right. Just checking. Yes, to accept that. Okay, so if I come in again and I'll try that and we'll go right up close, we'll go, what was it, 2.23? Well, we'll say 2.21. Run it again and yep, see the p-value is over 0.05. Okay, so that means that we can say that our guess can be accepted. Yes, yay! All right, so if you think about that in terms of, now remember it's a score out of 7 in the other one, but if you think about it in the same way, you just do a test, you put across that model that goes across, then you can test it with their hypotheses and see if that p-value comes up close or not. And it's 0.05 is your key figure. It has to be below, it has to be above that for you to have guessed close. Right, okay, I've repeated myself 6 times. That was the only thing that I wanted to show you because I don't want to confuse you with any further details. I think that is all you need to do. You don't need, you know, much more complex. You can compare means and you can do other things which I'll cover a little bit of in my final lecture. But that is, in terms of this assessment, what we really want is for you to just be familiar with SPSS and use the basic principles of it, which you should be able to do here. All right, so have you got any questions? No. Okay, well that's it for me. That's all I have. I don't know, I've been asked a couple of questions about assessment too. In particular, there's been a lot of talk about people sort of doing a lot of calculations and things, okay? And you don't need to do a lot of calculations in this assessment, okay? What we're seeking here, and we'll just have a quick squiz in there, you know, don't bother yourself too much with all the formulae and stuff. I've shown you those formulae so you understand how they're arrived at. I haven't shown you it, so you need to go into massive detail and worry yourself over it, okay? So, for example, as I was explaining to someone on the email yesterday, you may, for example, want to do stratified stratified sampling. So you may want to get a set number of respondents. So you might decide on a sample size of 500, say. You might decide that you want to have, it's a family cruise, so you want to make sure that you get at least 300 family people. So then you stratified your sample. Okay, so you have a quota on that. And as soon as you start putting quotas on things like that, then you need to put a plan out, but you can't do the calculations because you don't actually know how many families are actually on the cruise. So you can't say that you're going to do 50% of the families because you don't know how many families are actually on there. Okay, so if you want to do something like that, you may need to just indicate that you want to do it and why, and then that shows me your logic. Okay, so I'm more interested in what you've chosen to do and why than I am in your ability to compute mathematical sums, which you can get some program to do for you like SPSS or something else in the future. Okay, so just so you're clear that I'm looking for an understanding of how you plan market research and design it, and thinking about all the factors, like the fact that a person answering on behalf of a family might be answering for 4 people, whereas someone else might be a single only answering for 1. So you might want to think about that. Response rates for your chosen method. So, if you choose SurveyMonkey, whether it's got a higher response rate than if you post something out to people, or if you go and visit them, which is pretty unlikely and why wouldn't you visit them? You wouldn't visit them because it would cost a lot for you to go out and visit everybody and say, how was your cruise? So, you might go on the very last day. Here you go. Here's a good suggestion for you. This is what I would do. I would offer people a free drink on the last day of the cruise if they filled in our survey distributed by our porter staff, just as your birthing or something like that, So then you've got them captive and you can probably guarantee a fairly high response rate. So, or you can just send an email out to follow up a month later. There's lots of different ways of doing it. There's no right answer. And you'd probably get all different data from all those different ways. But that's what makes it interesting. So it's a case of justifying why you would do it that way. It'd be a lot cheaper probably to just offer a free drink and get them all done at the end of the cruise than it would be to visit somebody or post something out.
I just wanted to say, Alison, this is in my 5 years of university, this is the only assignment that I've written where I haven't smashed my word count on the first go.
Oh, really?
I feel like it's because you do just want us to justify our reasoning and why we've done what we've done rather than hit a lot of arbitrary points that we don't really need to include. So I just wanted to give you kudos for that.
Yay, thank you. That's excellent. It's nice to get kudos because this is it's a pretty challenging unit for me to teach, so it's nice to get some stuff back. So thank you. All right, well, I'll leave you there unless you've got anything else, but feel free to email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Can I hijack this for a second?
Sure.
Hey, Claire Marie, how'd you go?
How did you go?
I went really, really good.
Do we want to? I might just unrecord this so then you don't get.
I did give you a warning. I said I was going to hijack it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.